all together now. Okay, congratulations, you're still reading. It's just time to tie together a few things we've learned. This chapter is a bit of a summary, a few short and actionable lessons that can help you make better financial decisions. Okay, because it's never as good or as bad as it looks. The world is big and complex. Luck and risk are both real and hard to identify. Do so when judging both yourself and others. Respect the power of luck and risk, and you will have a better chance of focusing on things you can actually control. You'll also have a better chance of finding the right role models. Less ego, more wealth. Saving money is a gap between your ego and your income, and the wealth is what you don't see. So, wealth is created by suppressing what you could buy today in order to have more stuff or more options in the future. That's different from saying you should aim to earn the highest returns or save a specific percentage of your income. Some people won't sleep well unless they're earning the highest returns. Others will only get a good rest if they're conservatively invested. To each their own, but the foundation of "Does this help me sleep at night?" is the best universal guided post for all financial decisions. If you want to bet, if you want to do better as an investor, the single most powerful thing you can do is increase your time horizon. Time is the most powerful force in investing. It makes a little things grow, big and big mistakes fade away. It can neutralize luck and risk, but it pushes results and closer toward what people deserve. Because a small minority of things, it can afford the majority of outcomes. No matter what you're doing with your money, you should be comfortable with a lot of stuff not working. That's just how the world is. So, you should always measure how you've done by looking at your full portfolio rather than individual investments. Use a memory to gain control over your time, because not having control over your time is such a powerful and universal drag on happiness. The ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want to, and the peace, the highest division exists in finance. No one is impressed with your possessions as much as you are. You might think you want a fancy car or a nice watch, but what you probably want is respect and admiration. But saving for things that are impossible to predict or define is one of the best reasons to save. Everyone's life is a continuous chain of surprises. Savings that aren't unmarked for anything in particular is a hedge against their life's inevitable ability to surprise the hell out of you at the worst possible moment. Because nothing worthwhile is free. And remember that most financial costs don't have visible price tags. Uncertainty, doubt, and regret are common costs in the finance world. They're often worth paying, but you have to view them as fees, a price worth anything to get something nice in exchange, rather than fines, a penalty you should avoid. Where's the room for error? A gap between what could happen in the future and what you need to happen in the future in order to do well is what gives you endurance. And endurance is what makes any compounded magic over time. Room for error often looks like a conservative hedge, but if it keeps you in the game, it can pay for itself many times over. Avoid extreme and financial decisions. Everyone's goals and desires will exchange over time, and the more extreme your past decisions were, the more you may regret them as you evolve. Define the game you are playing and make sure your actions are not be influenced by people playing a different game. Respect the mass. Smart, informed, and reasonable people can disagree in finance because people have vastly different goals and desires. There is no single right answer, just the answer that works for you. Now, let me tell you what works for me. Just show me what you do with your own money. The difference between what someone suggests you do and what they do for themselves isn't always a bad thing. It just underscores that when dealing with complicated and the emotional issues that affect you and your family, there is no one right answer. There is no universal truth. There is only what works for you and your family, checking the boxes you want to check in a way that leaves you comfortable and sleeping well at night. We can live a side rich, but independence has always been my personal financial goal. Chasing the highest returns or leveraging my assets to live in the most luxurious life that has a little interest to me. We are so far committed to independent camp that we've done things and make a little sense on paper. We own our house without a mortgage, which is the worst financial decision we ever made, but the best money decisions we've ever made. Mortgage interest rates were absurdly low when we bought our house. Any rational advisor would recommend taking advantage of cheap money and investing extra savings in high return assets like stocks. But our goal isn't to be coldly rational, just psychologically reasonable. Yeah, our goal isn't to be coldly rational, just psychologically reasonable. Eliminating the monthly payment feels better than maximizing the long-term value of our assets. It makes me feel independent. I don't try to defend this decision to those pointing out its flaws or those who would never do the same. On paper, it's defenseless, but it works for us. We like it. That's what matters. Good decisions aren't always rational. At some point, you have to choose between being happy or being right. We do it because it catches the oxygen of independence. And more importantly, we never want to be forced to sell the stocks we own. We want the probability of facing a huge expense and needing to liquidate stocks and recover it to be as close to zero as possible. Perhaps we just have a lower risk tolerance than others, but everything we learn about personal finance tells me that everyone, without exception, will eventually face a huge expense and they did not expect. And that they don't plan for these expenses specifically because they did not expect them. The few people who know the details of our finance ask, what are you saving for? A house? A boat? A new car? No, none of those. I am saving for a world where culpables are more common than we expect. Not being forced to sell stocks to cover expense and also means we are increasing the odds of letting the stocks we own compound for the longest period of time. The first rule of compounding is never interrupt it unnecessarily. We invest the money from every paycheck into these index funds, a combination of US and international stocks. There is no set goal. It's just whatever is left over after we spend. We max our retirement accounts in the same funds and contribute to our kids' 529 college saving plans, and that's about it. Effectively, all of our net worth is a house, a checking account, and some Vanguard index funds. It doesn't need to be more complicated than for us. I like it simple. One of my deeply held investing beliefs is there is a little correlation between investment effort and investment results. The reason is because the world is driven by tails. A few variables account for the majority of returns. No matter how hard you try at investing, you won't do well if you miss on two or three things that move a needle in your strategy. The reverse is true. Simple investment strategies can work great as long as they capture the few things that are important to that strategy's success. My investing strategy doesn't rely on picking the right sector or timing the next recession. It relies on a high saving rate, patience, and optimism that globally will create value over the next several decades. I spend virtually all of my investing effort thinking about those three things, especially the first two, which I can control. I've changed my investment strategy in the past, so of course there is a chance I'll change it in the future. No matter how we save or invest, I'm sure we'll always have the goal of independence and we'll always do whatever maximizes for sleeping well at night. We think it's the ultimate goal, the mastery of psychology and money, but it's their own. No one is crazy.